the great tiger of Lagos.
Yeah, Lion of Newcastle.
So,
Ah.
rah, rah.
This
So,
lion has its thing.
tiger of Lagos. So great, so great to
Hey,
see. So great
yeah,
to
good to see you, my brother.
yeah, great to see you and have another chat with you after our last conversation. And I know you always say that poets and probably writers are seers of the nation. And now we everything that's happened the last week with the Ikoyi building collapse, Lagos,
Man, so pathetic.
Lagos is perpetually killing us. Not just you now, so not like personalized to you alone. People who people who imagine using your money to buy apartments that people are happy to like cut corners to get to like an end result. So it's really bad. Buying a property of $1.2 million, I am not even sure that it's being built
Yeah,
to the
yeah,
best
that you
of
didn't
our
buy
ability.
your grave.
Yeah, so like it's really and the terrible thing about all that has happened this time, people with dreams, people with their lives to live, all all those dreams and aspirations have been snuffed out
Yeah,
because some people have you know because some people fail
greedy,
to
that's the word.
follow due process. So when you are not like qualified in a particular field and you are saying you do not listen to engineers and architects or you do not listen to professionals, then
That's a
it,
recipe for disaster. Because
yeah,
even
yeah,
Bible says it that in the multitude of counselors there is safety,
yeah.
and then that through counsel wage war. You shouldn't wage war without taking counsel. You should go take counsel before you wage war. He said that in a little city there was a poor wise man, but he through the counsels rescued the city, and then the people remembered him no more. So even if you are a rich man, when you're besieged, when you're at that stage when you are discombobulated, you need to get back to people, no matter who they are, no matter if you think you don't have the money you have, still listen to them because that's their forte. And if they're giving you advice that this is what you're supposed to do, then you should take it because Nigeria there is no consequence for whatever anybody does. That's why we have all these things happening. There's no consequence. People do what they want to do and they go scot free. People put other people's lives in dangers and they still go scot free. I was telling my friends that are into real estate, and I think the Nigerian real estate is overpriced. And I think the valuation is preposterous because people are fighting to milk others and then sell to you, you know, a piece of rubbles for all it's worth. Yeah,
for
people don't
for
care about you
at ridiculous at ridiculous prices.
at ridiculous prices. I'm like, you're asking me to come and live in a slum, in a waterlogged area, and pay a huge sum of money for a place that is probably not that. And the only thing you tell me is because Dangote refinery is close to the place. Number
Bro,
one, it simply means the place is polluted.
developers that do not even take advice. So you could have a lot of developers there who do not listen to engineers, to architects, and all they care about is their profit margin, how much they can make as margins. So I think that's there's pollution everywhere where we have like government agencies that should ensure that this kind of situations do not occur. But along the line, palms or guy at the top would have said, "Oh, just this is our boy," irrespective of. And I was listening to Femi Oshibona's interview earlier today that he had on TVC, where he was saying when they got a permit in London, they gave him a permit to build 2 stories, and the council made a mistake and they wrote three, and he built three. So he got another he got another permit in London as well. They gave him permit to build six. They made a mistake, they wrote seven. He built seven. So you can see like there's also an antecedent of breaking the law, flouting the rules, not being bothered about like authority. So I think that's not good enough. Yeah. So and for him to have even he said on that same interview that he no longer listens to like structural engineers and architects because they advised him before that he should buy a 1000 kVA generator, and he decided to buy 800 kVA, and he realized that he only needed 500 kVA generator, and he sold that generator eventually. So, but because they advised you, they could feel like, okay, have a bigger generator to like carry the load. You get where that advice could be coming. So
Yeah, I
that
get it,
advice could
but
be coming from
it's so
if
sad and
the
pathetic because if you ask you to get a 1000 kVA generator, and you should get a 1000 kVA generator, you can't be more knowledgeable than whoever is giving you the advice. If you suppose they're expert, except you're contracting people that you think you're wiser than and everything, then KVA generator and structural engineer they play their parts could be interwoven, but they play different roles and function in the building of a particular house. A structural engineer is telling you this structure, it will take this and this and this for it to be good. And you're arguing because you have built a house in UK and you have built the fact that you are probably providing the money for all, it does still not make you a structural engineer because materials have to be tested, the iron, the beam and everything, their capacity, the inches and every other stuff has to be accurate. Has to be accurate. And are you building a house that's just going to last for 10 years, or you're building a house that's going to last for 100 years, for 200 years? That's what we need to ask ourselves again. Are you just building a temporary place where people can shelter, and in the next 10 years it caves in and people will die, but you've cashed out, so you don't probably care if they can all die for all you care, things like that. So this is actually disheartening. It's actually depressing. I don't. It's been people hollering, people crying, people dissing. In short, Dr. Freeze, what was that his name? Yeah,
at the
Freeze.
face.
Yeah, that the Freeze was telling one musician that what were you doing in an uncompleted building or on the uncompleted building without helmet and safety gears, and you are praising, you are shouting, you are saying Jesus, Jesus, that you are not supposed to be there in the first instance. And what are you doing there? You are shouting Jesus. Now the building has collapsed. What do you have to say now? So the girl just went, mute and things like that. She just has to. Well, I don't know. In Nigeria, rather than people take due process and get things done the way they should be done, they will transfer it to their religious bias. Bring in praise and worship and everything. Even the Tower of Babylon that God descended, that God had to scatter. They didn't even praise God. They just decided to build. God has left all these things in our own purview of man. God has given us brains so that we can give him rest. He has given us brilliant minds so that we can erect things we are supposed to what? Erect. So
Yeah.
you can't bring God. Should God come and mold the block for you?
Oh man, Lagos is killing us. Nigeria is killing us. 1 year from the end SARS protest, have we moved forward? What do we have to say about police brutality in Nigeria?
Okay, I think we've been in a state of denial. Then we've been in between some cacophonous theatrics, and then we've been in a state of doldrum. And I think the people that this thing actually hits the most as those that have lost loved ones in the NSAS protest. We make it seem like we just make it seem like a child's play or a fiction of our imagination or some sort of things. This is actually real. People were killed. I don't know whoever the forensic expert was that said, "Oh, okay, live bullets were actually shot," but no, so was it. The forensic expert or whoever he calls himself, they should get the guy and whip him thoroughly. You can't say live rounds were used and nobody was killed, and there were evidence. You are saying, oh, people said people died. They said, go and bring the people that died and every other stuff. They said even the so-called military, they actually, had some cops taken to nowhere. So it simply means they are probably cover up for this particular thing that has happened. And nobody is trying to, take the blame. And the government cannot own up that this was actually a mistake, a fault from this. They've not actually even accepted that people died. So it simply means they are still gaslighting us. They're still trying to make us believe that what we think happened was not what happened. In the glare of the public, we were there live with DJ Switch. We were there. She was, she went live with the occurrence. And then you're still trying to gaslight us that it wasn't what happened that happened. Then we spoke about the case of Inspector Nwanfo, somewhere in Imo or whatever, who killed a child whose father had to swim in a river of bodies, looking for his dead child, either he's dead or not. He swam in a river of dead, stinking bodies just to look for his own son without respite, just for reckoning. And I'm not sure that man actually had closure, because sometimes even closure are not sufficient for people to move on with. Even after closure, people still hang on. People are stuck. And yeah, this man had none of them. He's probably stuck in his own head. It's probably not even, his mental health has been tampered with. That man can't be the same. For you to swim in a river of bodies, you can never be left the same. Something in you is broken, and it's broken forever, just for your own child. Who an inspector told you that he has killed your son, and there's nothing you can do about it. Look at that sort of, coward statement, that kind of cruel statement. I've killed your son, and there is nothing you can do about it. Simply means that kind of guy, Inspector Nwanfo, must have some powerful backings. That's why he had such temerity to kill somebody's son and still brag that I've killed your son and there's nothing you can do about it. And truly, the man has not been able to do anything because nobody has availed him the avenue to get justice or closure. I can imagine the state of a mother. Imagine your own husband in a river of bodies, and that same man comes back. Anytime you see him in a river of bodies. Whenever he's having his bath, he imagines he's in a river of bodies. So there is a whole lot of trauma to this stuff that this man has experienced. And I don't know, I'm angry every day with this nation and the spate of recklessness and then impunity of policemen on the street. I think day before yesterday, somewhere around, I think is it in Lagos or somewhere in Nigeria, a policeman killed another tricycle driver because of 15 naira. 15 naira is.
He stabbed a tricycle driver with a bottle to death, and another stray bullet. That was a Meron in Lagos, and there was another young boy who was hit by a stray bullet as well. So it's quite unfortunate that after the NSAS protest, 1 year after, we are still talking about more police brutality.
I think they're even becoming more fierce. They are becoming more fearsome, and they are becoming more ruthless, and they are becoming more, filled with impunity, and they are becoming more lawless, and they are becoming more vicious. Because I don't even understand why you give guns to people that have not eaten, people that you refuse to give shelter, people that you refuse to give, clothing and every other stuff, people you don't even buy their bullets. They have to get their own bullets. Where do you expect them to get money from? It means they will have to ransack the citizens. If they have to kill, they will kill. And probably they even have deliveries. Rumor has it that they have the amount that they must remit to the boss, probably weekends and every other stuff. And they have to meet up with target. If not, they could probably transfer you to far north or up north. And you don't want to go up north, you want to stay in the southwest, or you want to stay where you still see normal human beings. I said normal human beings.
So just to add to what you said, like the police, they are more ruthless now. On the anniversary of the NSAS, 1 year anniversary of the NSAS protest, I was watching on international TV where both the police and the Lagos State Task Force members were like brutalizing innocent commuters who were passing through the Lekki toll gate. There was this guy who was an Uber driver who they almost, this guy said, no, I'm not going to enter this,
molested.
I'm not going to enter this Black Maria. Nobody in my family has entered this. And so they were beating him. It was bloodied and everything. And it was, it was just a terrible sight to see. Like, even a year after we complained about police brutality, we protested on the streets, and young people said they are tired, they want a change. We still see this going on, and on and on. More police brutality, like we mentioned, the occurrence in Lagos this week, more deaths, and it's really terrible. So in Anambra State tomorrow, they are going to vote to elect,
Election.
a new governor. And I just wanted to say that they kind of, I feel like it's quite ignorant when we have leaders, like when they start quoting a constitution that was written by the military that says Nigeria is one indissoluble state. And it doesn't make any sense. Like, if you are in a marriage and that marriage is not working, you cannot say because the pastor said the death do you part, then you allow someone to kill you, like in a relationship. You're in a violent relationship, or you're in a relationship that is not working, and you say because they joined you together on the altar, this one, do or die, will stay here until, if a man is beating you, for instance, and you say, oh no, I'm going to stay here, is till death do us part. I feel like it's terrible. So I think is ignorant for a president of a nation to keep saying, or to keep hammering on the fact that Nigeria is one indissoluble state. You don't force people to stay in a marriage. You don't force people to be part of. If people want to go their separate ways, let's have this dialogue, let's have this conversation, rather than like, we can't. You have to remain one country. What's the essence of being one country where some parts do not feel like they belong, where even the leader has shown bias in appointments, even in utterances saying the people that gave him 5% of the vote, like 5%, 5%, and all of that. Yeah, so I feel like it's quite tragic. In the United
Yeah,
Kingdom,
it's actually tragic because they've actually held a lot of confabs, to review the constitution, or to probably tweak the constitution so that it can probably contain fundamental human rights, and then the right of people to secede and things like that. But there is no state that is in that cannot be dissolved. You can't tell us that no, this is indissoluble. No, it's impossible. Anything can be dissolved. If we are in an alliance that does not favor us, we will dissolve it. If we are in a
yeah,
business that does not pay us, we must check the economic interest and the social interest. You
yeah,
can't keep denigrating people and then ask them not to. You can't keep beating a child and ask the child not to cry.
yeah.
That it is wrong. It is the constitution that we can beat you and then you must not cry. And if you cry, we will still keep beating you. Or
Yeah.
even if you cry, you cannot go. No, it's impossible. Chimamanda said it in her book that she is probably first, an Igbo before she is first an Igbo before she became a Nigerian. And
Yeah,
in short, Awolowo and other, nationalists have always called Nigeria the era of 1914, the
yeah,
mistake of Lugard, the
yeah,
era of 1914. The amalgamation of the southern and the northern protectorates. Till date, it's a big fat error which
yeah,
we need to correct.
yeah,
If this we need to go back to drawing board, draw terms of our engagement, terms of this relationship, and it must favor all the groups. When last did hold census in Nigeria? How would you tell me that there are more people in the dry north, in the Sahara, than in the coastal regions where everything, the sport and everything happens there? And you tell me that there is more concentration of humans in the dry, hot,
in arid
Sahara
land, in arid
desert.
land. So, but when they talk about VAT came up, they were crying. Oh no! But you say you have the people now. If you have the people, why are you not?
Yeah, let them generate funds now. So
Nigeria
the
is
problem is not even do you have people, it is do you have a viable, you know,
or
economy for the
are you
people.
adding are you adding cows to the people? Is it is
Yes, now are your people of economic value because you can have useless persons in your in your regions and every other stuff. Are they of
yeah,
economic value? They can just be occupying space and without any economic value. You kick against smoking, drinking, and everything, and then you collect VAT that they get from all those things. Is that not hypocrisy? You want to implement laws against all these things and you collect VAT, and now they say, okay, we're not giving you VAT again. This thing, the people that generate the VAT should enjoy most of the VAT. He said no,
I
that
cry.
we should operate in the spirit of brotherhood. but you were destroying the articles
Aqua
from which they
bottles.
get the bat.
You
The
didn't
proteins and
remember
everything, you were
brotherhood.
destroying them.
And you
So
know
this is
the funniest part about all of this is that it still boils down to hypocrisy, like you mentioned, because these people that are destroying alcohol, they are just doing it for, just to show off, they just stay in their house and they are drinking away. But they are
that's
coming.
true now.
So when who's was he Buhari's son's wedding that they had in Kano, where all the they had the party and everything, and they were enjoying themselves. For that party, no one remembered Sharia law. So when it comes like the poor, everyone is talking about Sharia law. But
Everybody
when it
actually
comes
knows that the
when it
state,
comes when
the government and the religion masters, they go hand in hand to oppress the people.
yeah,
Religion keeps selling, hope to the masses,
yeah,
while they sell eternity to the rich.
yeah,
So the rich buy eternity, the masses buy hope. So that's
yeah,
how we put them, in that El Dorado. We just put them in that trance, in that, in that sort of utopia that something's going to happen soon,
yeah,
hope against hope and things like that. But really, religion is, according to, Karma's opium of the poor and every other stuff. That's actually like a placebo, when you have a dysfunctional government, nothing
yeah.
is working, and you don't have enough money to buy cocaine so that you can get high and forget your sorrow. You just have to lean on placebo, the cheapest of it all, which is nobody charges you for your for your belief. But now
I
they
know.
even charge the poor for their belief. You
Yeah,
pay tithe, you pay offering, you pay saka, you pay suraj, suka, jangali, all those stuff. They still tax you any which way. The society has just been drawn and has been architected to actually oppress the poor, keep oppressing the poor, keep oppressing the poor. The son of Buhari, when he got accident, he went abroad. They had to go and treat him and everything and come back. Buhari couldn't use the facility in the state house, but he traveled abroad. Every time he would travel, and right now they want to budget some billions of naira to build state-of-the-art facility in the same place that you have not even entered the medical facility that is even on ground that you had a budget for last year.
billions,
I
billions.
don't understand the rationality behind all this madness, this
Yeah,
display of madness
it
by
is.
these politicians.
It is.
It's just
And
so sad.
And the funniest part is that 2023 is coming. Elections are looming. Fake promises. I'm just quoting the poem of Never Forgets the Devil of my head. Elections are looming. Fake promises are booming. Brooms are selling. Beware of fake notes. Sorry, change. Leaky umbrellas and our politicians. So basically, when it comes to 2023 now, everyone, they are coming with fake promises. They are coming with mantra of change. They are coming to say they are doing photo ops now. It's a season of photo ops. It's a season of
Yeah.
going around the country and talking and start just ensuring that people are working towards the next elections. But those that were given the mandate to give us a better nation, we cannot point to what they've done. It will be between 2015 and now. The country has been divided more than it's ever been before. Look at Sunday Igboho in prison in Cotonou awaiting trial. We have Nnamdi Kanu, who was brought back through extraordinary rendition. And we have people like Sheikh Gumi, who is walking around, the minister of terrorists and bandits, who is who is busy advocating for terrorists and bandits all around the nation and saying, don't call them bandits. They will be angry. If you tag them as terrorists, Nigeria will to break it, So we have people like that.
And that's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for Nigeria to break. We want to tag them bandits so that Nigeria can break and we can all go our separate ways. It's as simple as that. So we should tag them bandits. There is a shame on this administration
It's a
that
shame.
you have, somebody negotiating on behalf of terrorists, and the person knows their hideout,
Not
and
just
then
negotiating,
you budgeted money
speaking
for
for
the
them.
military, and you can't find them. And there's a negotiator on
It's
their
not
behalf.
just negotiating, it's speaking for them, is their spokesperson, is their PR, and you will
Can
not
you imagine?
find, you won't say like the DSS or going after him or getting him arrested. But Sunday Igboho was trying to defend his people in the Gongon just to ensure that, because he said they've been killing us. If the Fulani men were not killing people in the Southwest, so there would have been no Sunday Igboho who would be fighting for his people. So
That's
this
true
is a
now.
failure of a government who saw all of these atrocities and they failed to speak up for their people. They failed to defend. When the government's role is to provide, defend, secure lives and property. And today you hear
What the-
50 people killed in Borno, 100 killed in Benue, 200 killed here, 50 killed in Zamfara, 200 people kidnapped. There is no government. Everybody is silent. There's no Buhari there's no government, there's no president. Everybody is just quiet, like as if we are a joke. We don't matter to these people. So I think that's quite sad. And even now, some skit makers went to see the vice president to appeal to him to to unban Twitter. So you can see like Nigeria is not a normal country. Yeah, like if we look at it on the whole, it's not a normal country. Why do you have to go and appeal to the vice president to unban Twitter or to inform him about police or to inform him that there's police brutality in the land? Yeah, engagement is good, but these people, they see all of this, they are aware of all the going ons in the country. So you don't have to teach them how to do their job. So I think it's
Oh,
it's 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 a very sorry situation, to be fair.
yeah, it's a sad, very sad situation because basically, now it's 2023. They start peddling the same stories. Nigeria is a moribund restaurant. Yesterday's sour meals are still, on today's menu. So nothing is changing. Nothing will change. It's the same story they repeat year in year out. We give you good roads, railway, this, that. You the government probably just spent some money trying to refurbish, the railway, and the so-called bandits went there and then, detonated, something around there, just, destroyed that part, bungled the place and things like that. And nobody is doing nothing. Nobody is being brought to book. So is that not to tell you that they are being encouraged to do more harm to the system and to the facilities? We are begging for infrastructures, and the tiny infrastructures we have, these guys are ready to destroy them. And the government has actually been irresponsible because I've not seen the traction in everything they said they want to do. Okay, I think the next thing is we should hold them responsible. Next year, don't do anything. We just want constant lights. Don't tell us you want to do this. No, don't do one thing at a time. Just one. The whole of next year, use it to achieve stable power supply. In short, start with 24 hours all over Nigeria, or even 18 hours.
But
Oh, I'm going too far.
you
6
know
hours.
there's a cabal. There are cabals. That's the problem with Nigeria. There are cabals that don't make like things to work. So if you want to give electricity, for instance, there are people who are generator within the generator system, selling, dealers, importers, cabal that would never allow that system to ever thrive. Same with the fuel subsidy issue as well. There are cabals within the system who have their hands soiled and dirty, and they would never allow the system to work. So I think that's a very, very big issue that we need to continue to highlight, that the failure of the failure of institutions in Nigeria is that at every step of the way, there are people that are powerful that do not really want that country to like move forward. There are people that make their money off the corruption in the country. There are people that there are people that profit from the country the way it is. So when the country works, it becomes a big issue. I've applied for my passport for how many months now? I've never been called to come and have an appointment. Nobody's even saying anything. I don't even know what's going on. So you can see like it's a big issue. A country where people just do whatever they want to do. There's no transparency, there's no accountability. nobody, nobody takes responsibility, and so it's a very sorry situation. But
It's a
for
big
me,
shame.
I would say, even though you talk about Lugard and all of that, I would say, even though the amalgamation of Nigeria by Lord Lugard of the Northern and Southern Protectorate in 1914, I believe it was a mistake, but I wouldn't blame Lugard for the whole of Nigeria's problems. I wouldn't pull everything. So Nigeria got independence in 1960, and since we got our independence, what have we done, like, as a people? What have we done? So we have a Buhari who is in power today, and we see a lot of black. So we are all black people, but we see a lot of black on black crime, police brutality. The colonial mentality is still like ingrained in all of us. We have a president who is saying, "I will talk to them in a language that they understand." So we have a president who is saying there is one indissoluble country. So it beggars belief that even as there's a lot of oppression, there's a lot, like, black on black. In the UK now, I'm crying, Black Lives Matter. In the US, they are crying, Black Lives Matter. But in our own country, do Black Lives Matter? Do Nigerian lives matter? You get where I'm coming from? So even within that context of the country, how a policeman is stabbing a citizen to death, a policeman's stray bullet is gunning down a citizen. There's oppression, there's corruption, systems are not working.
I think we
So
need to go back to the evolution of the police system in Nigeria. Then I think it started as a constabulary, which were actually used as instrument by the colonial masters to actually bully, achieve their aim, collect tax by folks and everything, oppress people and everything. I think they've actually carried the same mentality over time. So it has been passed from, time immemorial, from the past to the present, that, see, your job is actually what? Oppression. There should
yeah,
be a reorientation of the police force. Probably they should have to remove the force away from that police force. They should put it police guard or police, something.
yeah, because
But
that
they
force,
need to,
that
yeah,
Nigerian police force, they even believe that everything we have to do is to use force. Now they said we want, like, electronic, was electronic currency, for ease of business and everything. But we see policemen and DSS and EFCC follow people to the ATM machines to go and withdraw, to go and withdraw.
it's it's a shame. It's a shame.
It's
It's
a
pathetic that the law, people are supposed to, the law enforcers are the ones that would actually rob you of your pay.
even
Sometimes
last
even
man,
at
even
critical,
last man,
junctions.
even
Yeah,
last man.
at, yeah, you at critical junction. Okay, I wanted to go get, a particular document. So I entered the street. They said it was a one-way road and every other. So I was like, there was nothing to mark this place as one way. Because they wanted to rip you off, they restructure everywhere. They will put signposts where you cannot see them, and you have to pay. I had to go and pay 50,000 a year into the government, coffers, just
at
to,
at
because
least
I told them I wasn't going to give them bribe.
at
I
least
wasn't going to pay
at
myself.
least
I would go and see their boss. I went to their boss, who was like, that ignorance is not, excusable. You still have to go and pay and everything. They now charge me for willful obstruction, and they say it's 50,000 a year. How will you
wow.
charge me 50,000 a year for willful obstruction when minimum wage is 30,000 and you can't
Yeah,
even pay it, and you've not even been paying it? How will the punishment for whatever,
it's even
be
it's even more than
bigger,
the
more than the whatever offense was committed? That's injustice.
it is.
Injustice. And I didn't do it deliberately. I was using my Google map to find the place. And in short, the funny thing is that on that same road, there were buildings at the end of that road. So if you are staying in that building at the end of the road, you have to drive all the way down. So how come you now tell me that I'm taking a one-way road when people
Okay.
live at the end of the road, and that's how they go to their? And I was seeing cars going down, and then you obstructed me. You asked me where I was coming from, where I was going. So if I told you I was going to that house, you wouldn't have, arrested me. But because I told you, oh, no, 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 and there is a way that leads to, the best thing you do is uh, from the upper junction, you would have put a signpost that do not enter. And then you can't even put a signpost there because people live down the road.
Quick question. So I have a question. So now we see a lot of people that, a lot, let me even say young people who, like us now, we are talking about the ills of government, and our voice is loud. So are we going to, should we say it's a problem? Would I say, are you angry about the Nigerian system because you do not have a seat on their table? And I'm holding my hands up, like saying, because we have seen a lot of young people who were, who were campaigning during the last administration of Goodluck Jonathan about bad governance, who have now joined this government and they've lost their voice. So are we saying that a lot of people are just, are we saying, is it stomach infrastructure? Is it hunger in the land? So we see a lot of people who have this voice and who keep talking about the oppression of government. But once they, because they are not at this table, they are not eating. And once they have the opportunity to sit at the table, then they show their true colors. So what do you have to say about that? And do you think you are this angry, or I am this angry because we are not opportune to be part of this because I
Well, we need to understand governance before, to actually respond to you. We need to understand governance. Governance is, a machinery that steers the affairs of a state. And what do? You meet the expectation of the state, the needs of the state. You have to meet it. The desires of the state. The government is supposed to steer it. It's supposed to, provide basic, necessities and every other stuff. But it's not about being in government. It's about people doing government rights. I may actually be politically conscious, but I'm not willing to go into, into a particular office or run for office, or whatever. There must be people by the sideline who will always point the government to the right direction. Young people have a tendency of straying once they, enter into government. In short, power actually corrupts, and
yeah,
absolute power corrupts absolutely. We
yeah,
can't, we can't gainsay that and everything. There's a tendency that people actually lose their voice,
yeah,
or people's voice are actually stifled by the reason of the fact that once you join a particular government, you have to be loyal to the government. You
yeah,
can't go into a government and criticize the government.
yeah.
If you don't want to,
Quit.
pally with
You're not
them,
ready to,
then
yeah,
it's better you don't, you
yeah,
don't join them, or you don't run under their banner or anything. I can't be criticizing who I am working under. If I need to say anything, I will have to what? I'll have to resign.
yeah,
If I really need to talk, if I really think I have, misgivings concerning the administration, then I really need to step down. I wouldn't want to be in a government and I'm speaking against the government. It simply means I'm also, not probably in the right frame of mind. I think there was a commissioner somewhere in a particular state that
yeah.
resigned
It was
because he said,
it was that, I think it was Dawisu in Kano State when he criticized Buhari's administration. So,
yeah, he resigned.
but I
There
think,
was another guy in Imo State, or one particular state. He said because they were, they were observing due process, following to the latter, the rules of giving out contracts, and people are doing their job, and the government decided to, probably take people off the job because they were following due process. The guy said that he's resigning his
yeah,
portfolio from his
yeah.
portfolio and every other stuff, and
We,
people were like, "Wow, this
we,
guy is great. Who can resign?" Because Nigeria, there is no consequence for, for whatever you do. There's so much impunity in governance, so people think they can do whatever they want to do and get away with it. The Senate has been a rubber stamp house. They are more useless than the word useless in itself.
but
You know,
Saraki could not say this out loud. They asked him, "Are you? Is this serious rubber stamp?" He could not. He said, "I don't want to criticize my predecessor, but to be fair, this has been a
the
rubber
worst,
stamp." Yeah,
yeah, the worst senators we've ever had in the history of Nigeria. This has been
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Because you can't the judiciary and the legislative and the, executive organ. You guys are supposed to check each other.
Check and
That's why
balances in
there's a call for
government.
checks. Yeah.
Yeah,
So if all of you are in tandem, if you just approve everything this other arm does and every other stuff, it simply means you guys are not running a government. You're running a
yeah,
cartel, and you
yeah.
want to milk the nation down. You want to make it dry. The budget. They refuse to approve the budget of a particular parastatal because what they budgeted for was in the previous budget, and they asked the head to come and defend the need for them to include another budget, which they've not exhausted the one for the last one. So what kind of budget do we even operate in Nigeria? Is it incremental budgeting? Is it zero budgeting? Is it as in we need to get to that point where we're able to tell these guys, or if you have something in budget in the previous year and you have not exhausted it and you have not done anything about it, you can't include it in the budget for a new year. That's embezzlement, that's stealing. And these guys, in short, Bureau's brought out their, I think there was statistics concerning alcohol consumption in Nigeria, and they said some billions of naira was spent on alcohol. And somebody was asking that who are those that consume alcohol? Because at least 90%, 97.3% of Nigerians are religious. So who are the people? And their religion frowns are drinking alcohol. So who are the people drinking those alcohol?
You drink alcohol to relieve yourself of stress, and especially when you are in the country where things are not working. You need to at
Yes,
times
because sometimes
you
you're
need to
even
at
on your
times
way to
you need to
a
forget
very
your
important appointment and you're spending like 3 hours on the road, 4 hours, 6 hours in a standstill traffic. Everything comes to you there. You eat your lunch, you eat your dinner in the traffic. So some people probably even have stoves in their cars now. So they just make dinner inside the car before they go home. That's on the lighter note though. So it's pathetic. Okay, I'm not angry because I'm not in the government or whatever. I don't think that me being angry or we being angry is predicated on that. I think we need people that are compassionate. It is with compassion that we can rewrite, be revolutionaries. We need to get to that point where we become compassionate. We have empathy for the neighbors and every other stuff. If not, nothing's going to happen in Nigeria. No policy can change Nigeria right now. The only thing that can change the mindset of our leaders is compassion.
Well, I think my final thoughts would be we should not make the mistake of 2015 again. I think Nigeria is how would I even say, Nigeria is a tragedy of some sort. For you to have a Buhari as your president, and we have people like Professor Charles Soludo, we have people like Professor Yemi Oshibajo, we have Kingsley Moalu, we have a lot of intellectuals within the Nigeria state who can, radically transform, Nigeria to a nation. We have people like Peter Obi who can, transform Nigeria to a nation of our dreams. And we have a Buhari in government, someone who I'm not, even the white certificate, we are still looking for it since 2015. So I think it's a tragedy of some sort, where we have incompetence at the highest in leadership in Nigeria, and we have competent people who could make change happen, people who are liberal, because I think what education does to you as well is it makes you liberal, it opens up your mind, and those tribalistic, nepotistic behaviors of appointing your tribes people to everywhere, EFCC, customs, immigration, the police force, the military. You pack all your kinsmen and your tribesmen to all the MDAs, or even just all of them, move them to NNPC. It's crazy, the kind of nepotism that this government has entrenched within the Nigerian state. And it will take years and years of a new government to erase all the wrongs that
I
this.
think the southwest and the east, I think they are both plagued with glaucoma, and they refuse to go for a cure. It's a travesty of leadership for people that are outbaked. It's not even about your educational background. It's about how sound and how open your mind is. You may not have a very strong academic background, but you can actually school yourself informally. You can and from the years of experience and what you have gathered and from the mistakes you've made, you could actually correct it. But I think this man is just a weak man. He's not ready. He just wanted something he's not up to. He
Yeah.
has a track record of failing.
And,
Failure is ingrained in his blood.
and
And he was crying just to come and take us 70 years backwards. This man came and took us 70 years backwards. As in, he was deliberate, and he was struggling to come into power just to move us back economically backwards. It's actually painful.
And
Pounds,
it was a sore loser.
dollar.
It
has never happened in the history of Nigeria that pounds and dollar went is exchanged this ridiculously high. It's demoralizing.
It's
It's
terrible. It's
painful.
terrible. It's
Yeah,
terrible.
and
It's
it's
terrible.
terrible. When you're
It's
living in a
wrecked.
country.
They've wrecked the Nigerian economy. All the promises that were made, I will make $1 to €1, and he even promised that they would restructure the country. It was in their manifesto that the country will be restructured. So why are they afraid of restructuring Nigeria? I think
It's
those are
just a
some,
tongue-in-cheek promise. They knew it.
yeah.
They knew there is no consequence if they don't do whatever they said they were going to do. And they are still coming with us with, with impunity and trying to gaslight us that we love them and that we're still going to vote them. Probably people up north can vote them, but in the south, you want to vote them, it simply means it simply means they need to check your DNA. You must have emanated from, from a race of slaves, people with the soul of slaves. You must have emanated. You must have been an outcast in your previous life. If you vote for this particular government, I don't care whoever they bring to power. They have the same ideology. They have the same philosophy, and I don't think in any time soon they are going to deviate. In short, there are no ideologies. Our political parties have no ideologies. They just swivel anywhere they can. They launch themselves anywhere. Once this place is not working, this place is working. There's nothing like Democrats. There's nothing like Libra. There's nothing like conservative. There's nothing
No ideology.
anywhere. They just swing like pendulum ball.
They just cross carpet to whoever, like, where at will. They don't care.
And
They don't have,
that's to even tell you that these men cannot be trusted.
yeah.
These men should not be trusted. If you don't have philosophy with which a particular
No
philosophy with which
political
you run your life.
philosophy. Well, we knew Awolowo had a philosophy to entrench free education in the Southwest, and we know that, okay, this is what he stood for. The NPN, the every party back then, they had a philosophy, what they wanted to achieve. But the politicians of today, no philosophy. If you look at the APC, what is their philosophy? What do they want to do? What does our PDP? Is there any philosophy apart from helping
APC is to
Atiku to
entrench Tinubu
uh,
as their life patron
and
and
PDP Atiku?
enrich him from generation to generation.
You understand? So there's no philosophy. All of these people,
The PDP, that one, they already crumbled. It's a house that is divided against itself. So that one is already dead. We need new names. We need new parties. We need people to come up and run. We need young people to step in and every other. If we claim, see, in as much as election matters, the people that actually count the election, that count the votes also matter. The people that count the votes are actually everything, because you could actually vote and the counters. So let's go to electronic voting, where once I vote, it hits the server straight and you transmit it live. So we can see in real time what is happening, and then we actually get, international observers so that we can know how true and fair the election is. And we have gotten there. Now, they should sign the bill, sign this. They say, we'll sign this. You have not signed it, we've signed it. Oh yeah, we are going to transmit live. Said no, you can't transmit live. Why? If you want to be transparent, why all these inhibitions? And you claim to be full-fledged, democracy, when there were, upheavals in other countries. You wanted to step in Mali, and you were like, no, they should return to democracy. Whereby you are only running democracy with, with lip service. This is more or
yeah,
less like an oligarchical
yeah,
democracy.
yeah.
It's
No,
just crazy.
more like a military regime, More like,
Yeah, it's a
yeah,
totalitarian democracy.
yeah.
Which is very crazy. You can't even talk. Now you are introducing in era, and then you ban, Twitter. Who is going to take you serious?
Do you support the Twitter ban?
You saw me. How will I support the Twitter
You are
ban?
stamp real. You are stamp real.
No, I can't support the Twitter ban. I'm not Ogunlesi. They have to protect this thing. They have to protect his farmland.
But why are you asking me that question now?
Brother Ogunlesi, you go to church on Sunday. Why are you stabbing me? Jesus should have cured you of your of your stuttering problems. You are still here, you are stuttering.
So
Receive your tongue. Let your tongue be loose, Brother Ogunlesi. You can't ban Twitter and you say you are a free and fair. You are trying to, so that there won't be collapse in the system and every other stuff. I just wish, and I wish the International Criminal Court will actually clamp down on these guys after the administration. They will summon them, and then they will query them, and then they will be prosecuted, because these guys actually deserve all this stuff. They shouldn't go scot-free. I am praying that before these guys actually, once they leave the power, they should be summoned, they should be, wherever they are, they should be arrested and interrogated and then prosecuted, queried and
I
prosecuted.
please, you don't have to pray, because pray without works is dead. So that's the problem of Nigeria. We keep praying and praying, and tomorrow brings the same. Yeah. So, but in closing, and do you think there is hope for Nigeria?
Well, that's hard to say. That's very hard to say. Well, but they said there's always, no matter how dark the night is, there's always this hoop of stars, around in the space that is still telling you that carry on, there are eyes on you, or there are people
No matter how
beside
dark the
you,
night
or
is,
that
joy comes
yeah,
in the morning. So yeah,
yeah,
let's
that
hope.
the universe is actually still, in tandem with your dreams and things like that. But I think there is hope for Nigeria, but it's very minuscule, it's very minuscule. It's very minuscule. It's very, very minuscule. As in very minuscule. It will take. I don't even know. I don't know what we're gonna. I have to return back to God. You know. Somebody wrote about God delusion in Nigeria. Whereby everything we just hang it on God. But I still think we need to go back to God. I can't say it's over for Nigeria, but I believe there is light. But it's gonna come by struggle. If we want to see, the only hope we have in Nigeria is a revolution, and that's going to be the end, to this oppression and everything. And with the evolution of societies, at certain point you have to get to a state of climax, where there is going to be a whole lot of violence and everything, so that people can return everything back to what to status quo, so that people can return everything back to balance. There must be chaos before there's going to be balance again. So we need to get back to that point. There
But
has to be revolution.
I don't think, like personally, I don't think revolution is probably we are not yet ready for a revolution, especially with the NSAS protest where Buhari was saying that they were trying to topple him, and so in his own mind he thought it was planned for a regime change, and also he thought that with the hoodlums hijacking the whole protest and destruction of properties. We saw what happened in Lagos State and everything. So Nigeria is not yet ripe. Even in Abuja, we saw hoodlums in SUV. One
Yes,
guy who,
now.
who, who, who the media gave audience to, one of the hoodlums, and he said, I want to see the Inspector General of Police. And he said, if the streets was not cleared in 24 hours or something, they were going to march. They were going to, like, imagine a hoodlum going with the press to the police force headquarters. So you could see that the politicians hijack the whole process. So even if you are saying, oh, we want a revolution in this country, the politicians would never let that work. They are ready to like hijack everything. They don't even mind like what happened at the Lekki toll gate, shooting innocent people. They don't care, and they will tell you there are no bodies. And when someone who went to CNN, he was stammering. He said then two people died, but initially they said nobody died. So at the end of the day, they just keep contradicting themselves. So I don't think Nigeria is at this stage where we are ready for a revolution because of the politicians that we have.
Nations are never ready for revolution. Revolution just happens. Nations, there is no nation that was ever ready for revolution. It will just come. It comes like hurricane. It will just sweep everywhere clean. So we don't need to be ready, but it will happen. When the free bonds, when they are ready, it will happen. It's in my book. It's in the book. Lagos is killing me.
So
Revolution has
guys,
ambitioned our land,
we
and
need
it's
to
coming soon.
we, go and to get a true picture of what Oloyede Michael Taiwo is talking about. The author of Lagos is Killing Me, get a copy of his book Lagos is Killing Me. With the events of the last week in Lagos, we can see that Lagos is killing not just Oloyede Michael Taiwo, but it's killing a lot of people. Lagos is so please perform Lagos is Killing Me for us, just to like wrap things up. I know you are a top performance for it. Lagos is killing me, 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 Lagos is killing me. So is the book, do you have a
Okay.
book? Okay, you just perform it off here, yeah.
A pinches and whistles and loud whispers of men in economic diapers, manhood and allegory of blunt clippers. This Lagos explodes in my head with a thought of a million bangers. Lagos is killing me. Lagos is killing me. Lagos is killing me. Lagos has finished you. Lagos is killing me. I comb the nooks in hustle, getting the boss a fiscal bustle. Yet no seat to settle my lean purse, I vigorously cuddle, lest I tell the tale of my vagrant money. No soul seem to blink with a pity, only a loud Lagos has finished you. Lagos is a rambunctious hooker. She dates all souls, even aliens. Lagos is a gambler. She taught me how to play lotto, to play and win. I sold my motto. I love she mailed me to the ghetto. Humans live in plank duplexes side on heaps, with jams, reptiles, and termites, rooms of fully equipped. Existence maintenance bills, keep you on self-medicated pill, landlord stacks you with quick notice, you roll out like a rotten yam on the bean, Lagos has finished you. Lagos is a rambunctious hooker. She dates all souls, even aliens. I'm a frustrated Lagosian. I'm an untrained physician trained in the school of offset brain. I will inject your S trains just to get my pay. Don't care if you're okay. I'm a grumbler on the industry in the cheerful city of Lagos. I pay for the blackout. My folks have gone to weed out. Some out of sheer helplessness, pass out of reality to illegality, embracing the purity of insanity. Lagos has finished them. I know the spirit of Lagos is called hustle. I trek to save cost. In heaviness, tears out of my face burst. I take advice from bubbling bottles. I sleep with my eyes careful. Insomnia, my pride in Lagos. In my head, she sizzles like a minced meat. A classy fare, a dragging mare to meet. In the heat of my bustle, I pause and kneel. I make confession about this Lagos and my calmness steals. Lagos is killing me, but I have seen tomorrow. I fear no sorrow. God's strength I borrow. I break all hardship arrows. I will defeat Lagos.
Yo, Lagos is killing me. That was powerful. You are going to defeat Lagos. Yeah, that I'm very sure of. And thank you for blessing us with that great poem. And we hope that the spirit of Lagos, or the Lagos of our dreams, the Nigeria of our dreams, will someday be achieved. So I think
Yeah.
it's time to close this leg of the conversation,
Wow.
where we've talked about all the happenings in Nigeria and everything. I will end the corner, then we could just we could talk about literature in the second part, just to dissect what's been happening in the literary space. And
Oh, yeah, that would be fantastic. That would be
yes,
fantastic.
yeah, so we'll dissect that. But I will end this corner. But it's really a pleasure always talking to you. You are such a great mind who has a lot of with great ideas, and always has a lot to say about the happenings in Nigeria. And it's always a pleasure to talk to you,
It's a
to
pleasure
to
to always
to
come on
to
board,
to
to speak
unpack
with the Lion of
to
Newcastle.
to unpack to unpack from a great literary mind. So can we have a loud roar like a lion? Roar! White teeth. We have white teeth.